Welcome back, everyone. I wanted to cover this really quick, briefly. I do want to go over, so the goal of this video is to take a look at the ships that are coming out over the next year, over the next 12 months. Take a look at what has, there's a couple videos in here with walkthroughs. I want to take a look at some of those kind of tours. So we'll take a look at the Polaris. We'll take a look at the Pioneer. If I have time, I'll take a look at the Starlancer. I may move the Polaris video actually to a separate video just with the Polaris update. Given how long this is currently running, but I do plan on showing those at least in a separate video, if not this video. I wanted to show something really quick at the end of day one here that I kind of put in the capture, just to kind of finalize some thoughts there, and it does have to do with ships. And then we'll take a look at the silhouettes, and we'll take a look at some of the video footage around some of the ships that looks like all of the other ships we'll actually see are probably ready for IAE. So I'm expecting some of those to come out during IAE. So yeah, really quick on this one, there is audio here, so got it turned down a bit, but this is obviously the Kraken, and people are losing their mind over it. God only knows when it'll actually come, but you can see here what's fitting on the pads. You have, obviously, this is a Drake, a little Armada going on here, but there's the Corsair. Here is the Cuddy Black, but the one I like to note at the most is the Vulture here. So I did kind of highlight this yesterday, but it's also sticking off the pad. So I don't know if they'll actually allow this kind of thing in jumps, which would be cool if they do, given that this should play out the same way as well on the Liberator. So it looks like the Vulture is a bit too big for the small pads, which everyone's always kind of known, but it also appears there's a chance that they may allow that to stand when it comes to doing jumps and stuff like that, unless it works this way on the Kraken but not the Liberator. So again, all that being said, I'm still looking for a ship that can actually haul around. I mean, ideally I don't have to just buy a Kraken for that, but ideally I'm looking for a ship that can actually haul around the Vulture, and clearly this could fit on one of these two pads, so it's, you know, like it could fit where the Corsair is currently, but it looks like they're trying to get it on a small pad, which is what I would expect out of something like the Vulture. So yeah, looks cool. They kind of go over this, highlight this quickly, but let's, I'll roll the intro, and then we'll take a look at some of the other things I've got planned out here as well. Now, these are the ships that they have planned out for the next few months, up to, it said 12 months out, essentially. So if we go back here a bit, I don't really want to play it. The next 12 months is when these ships will be coming out. So we have here is the Argo CSV, so kind of base building, small base builder. It's got 2 SCUs of cargo capacity, so little ship that could, but yeah, I'm interested to see how this all plays out. I did end up picking up one of these, so interested to see how it fleshes out. Next, we have, I skipped over it due to how fast I was going here, but this, I don't know what this is, maybe a little gray cat. It could be an Ursa setup, because it's got the tires and stuff for that, and it kind of got the turret. this seems like more of an actual hatched turret than a regular Ursa turret, but this could be a base building Ursa, which wouldn't surprise me. So I actually might be down for that a bit more than the other ship that we were just looking at, due to the sizing, but if this could carry some SCUs in the back, which technically the Ursa could if the bay opened up a little bit better. I don't know, I just generally at this point kind of like the Ursa class. So I've got the standard Ursa because of the Kraken currently, but that's going to get upsized to the Polaris, so I'll lose access to that, but I do like the Ursa. Moving on here, this looks to be an anvil. Possibly there are a number of anvil type of things that they've got, and so it looks something similar to like the Ballista or something. I don't know what it is for sure, but pretty interesting idea here. And then we have the Hornets. So these are all the Mark 1s, or a couple Mark 1s that need to go to Mark 2s. I assume all of them will make their way to Mark 2. I don't know the Hornets well enough to tell you which is which here. But yeah, these just appear to be Hornets that need to go to Mark 2 status. So if you're all for that, you're all for it. Terrapin, I thought I was doing some sweet analysis here, like, oh, there's a medical bed over here, so this is probably a medical variant. Yeah, it's definitely their Terrapin medical variant, and there's going to be some footage of that here in a bit. Not to pass over that too briefly, I'm excited about this Terrapin. I think the Terrapin price is too high. I think all ship prices are too high, but I'm not excited to potentially pay the price here, especially compared to how it is to the Apollo. This would need to have some serious reasons to pull this over something like the Apollo. But when I talked about the Galaxy, I think I'm kind of stepping away from that and going, okay, I've got a cargo hauler. I don't need that. I could probably see getting something like the Apollo or something like that instead of getting the medical bay with the Galaxy. And I think the Polaris will fill that big ship need. I think the character just goes away, and I just use the Polaris to kind of have that big ship feel. This is the Fat Fury, aka probably the Guard. I think it's meant to be the Guardian, which is pretty cool. I may pick it up just by name alone. I don't know. Call me, judge me as much as you want there in the comments, but I don't really have a need for heavy fighters. But given the name of it, and I do kind of like the Furies quite a bit. I'd be interested to see how this plays out. But I don't know where I would actually use it. I have a hard time figuring out where the heavy fighters are supposed to fit. Usually when I have a heavy fighter, I'd just rather be on my Constellation and have actual storage capabilities, because the Constellation, obviously it moves not as fast as something like the F8C, but it feels close enough that I'd rather usually have something like that. I did have the F8C for a period of time, but it either felt too slow for me. I don't know. I have a hard time justifying some of the heavy fighters. But I do like them. Like, I just don't use them all that much. This is the Misk Fortune, I believe. So I was noting kind of before, but this looks like it's about the same footprint as the current Prospector, which I actually enjoy. Well, I like the footprint over the Vulture. I like the Vulture better than the Prospector, even if the Prospector was like this Misk Fury. That being said, I can see picking this up due to its size. It does appear to be about the same size as the current Prospector. It appears to have the front end of that. This, I think, is the salvaging arm. So I don't know how it would do the actual fracking, or if it can even do fracking. I don't do fracking much these days because they've nerfed construction material down to the ground. So if I can just hole scrape in this, I guess that's fine. Ideally, though, any salvage vehicle can do both fracking as well and gather those materials. So maybe there's a beam that shoots out of here that fracks instead. Maybe this arm over here is possibly not a gun and actually meant for fracking. Maybe it almost looks like there's two. Maybe there's like this fracking array that it does on each side here. I don't know. Maybe these kind of extend out, or it's hard to say exactly what's going on here. But I feel like this is just a Prospector-sized version that does salvaging. So it's a Prospector that salvages, which is what it looks like to me. Landing gear is a little beefier here, so it might be bigger than the Prospector. It's hard to tell with the person here. I'm trying to think, when I'm getting in the Prospector. Okay, so it does seem like it's probably bigger than the Prospector. Same kind of similar footprint, but again, possibly bigger. I don't know how much bigger it might actually be than the Vulture itself. So it's something that might need a medium hangar or something like that, or like a medium-sized landing pad or something like that. But it's hard to say with this picture, with the depth and stuff like that. These are probably 2 SCU boxes here. I don't know. They're not giving us a lot of work with here, except for the fact that it looks like a Prospector. With Misk, I usually hate the little slot, like mail slot that you have to look through, but this one has an open front here, so it's probably something I could live with. And these days I'll probably mostly go with the salvaging ships, just given that that's kind of my go-to. So looking forward to this ship, looking forward to see what it has to offer. It doesn't seem like it'll probably come relatively soon, although I think we might get some more news about it during IAE. And if we don't see it during IAE, I'll be pretty surprised because it sounds like some of it's already pretty fledged out. Moving on here, this looks to be the new Crusader starter ship. That's what I have it listed here, because you can kind of see the gun on the other side here. Relative sizing looks good. So there is some footage for this as well, but I'm marking this down as the new Crusader starter ship. Moving on here, I do believe this is another Drake, probably a Drake starter ship. That being said, I mean, obviously it has the wing language, and it's got that boxy kind of thing going on with it. These wings look to be too long for me. Maybe it's a Drake heavy fighter, because I don't know if they currently have a heavy fighter. Because I think the Buccaneer is meant to, it's an interceptor. So I think this is meant maybe to be a heavy fighter for Drake. Originally I thought a starter ship, but it seems like maybe more a heavy fighter, comparing it to the Fat Fury that we saw earlier. But these ships look just too long. If you want to put this in a hangar of a ship or something like that, it seems like it wouldn't fit in any hangars given how long these are. So obviously it would fit on a small pad of a Kraken. So, but you can't just size every Drake ship to go on the Kraken. That just seems like it's got to be able to fit into, other ships as well. So I think these wings are just too long. They look cool, but they just need to fold up better so that you can actually put it in a hangar. Up next, we don't know what this is for sure, but looking at these on the outside here, I think this is meant to be the Apollo. So hard to say if it's actually the Apollo, but I do have it marked as the Apollo. This looks like it's the Starlancer, which we have a video at the end here. We kind of take a look at that. Whether it's attack or not with this turret on the top, I don't know. Could be the Starlancer Max, but at the end of the day, it looks like the Starlancer. A lot of hype about this one. This is the Perseus, so that's, I mean, looking at that big gun, that's just what it appears to be. I don't know if I would pick up the Perseus, but it's just what it appears to be here. This is the Ironclad. I'm pretty sold on that idea that that's what this is with the back here, and yeah, this looks to be the Ironclad, which is pretty cool to see that that might come out in the next 12 months. Everyone's like, oh, you'll never see it for 5 years, which is believable on the idea that that's sometimes how long these ships take, but this appears to be the Ironclad to me. So looking forward to see what they do with this. This I wasn't as sure about, but I feel comfortable to say this is the Pioneer. So when I take a look at the Pioneer, this this looks like it's something that can easily be, yeah, I'm pretty sure with these side things like this and whatnot, it appears to just be the Pioneers to me. So originally I was like, oh, what is this ship? It looks really cool, but I think it's just the Pioneer. That's about it. There is a hangar in here as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's the coming ships in the next few months. I wanted to cut to this video. The Ironclad part, this appears to be that turret, and these are the big engines in the back here, so that's my justification for that. From the Pioneer perspective, some of the stuff's outdated. Like I said, they do 1,000 SCUs of cargo now instead of what they've got here, so we'll take a look. I meant to have a capture of the Pioneer, kind of a silhouette picture they have. If I scrub back here enough, you can see there's some turrets here, and then this isn't really the picture I used, though, to justify that it was here. It's this one. You can see the turrets here, and then this is the other turret up front here, and then these are the slats kind of with that other. So if I go back here a bit, you see how they have these kind of like slat things, and then there's 3 turrets. If we take a look here, you'll see 1, 2, 3 turrets. This one does appear to be in the foreground. So yeah, I mean, I've sold myself that this, with these kind of like, I don't know, slats, or what do you want to call these? They're probably just engines, but this appears to be all in all the Pioneer. Again, the other one appeared to be the Ironclad. Ooh. Oh, I went too far back here. The Ironclad. So you have a turret up front here, and then you got the big engines. I guess this part didn't stand out as much to me initially, but yeah, it's in there somewhere. Anyways, this is the Ironclad. So yeah, looking forward to see. Here is, we'll take a look through this. Let me turn it down a bit. But this is going to be a look at some of the ships that are about ready. This is the medical terrapin. Excuse me for a second. So as we go through here, kind of the long hallway, and then this is meant to be the medical bed. This is the doorway. So if you're trying to kind of put a reference here, this is the doorway, medical bed. So instead of having the radar section in the middle, you kind of have a medical bed. There might be 2 medical beds in here. It's hard to say. They're about to cut away here, but okay. So this looks like, okay. So the medical bed, this is the front over here. This is the neck of the ship, and this is the left side door. I hope that they bring some of these modernizations, like this button that probably opens the door now, into the Terrapin. Might as well rework them at the same time, but this is the throat or neck of the turtle here, towards the turtle front and the pilot, but this is the medical bed. It's just now in the center, unlike the scanning part here. So honestly, it's starting from the, well, here's the pilot seat, but it's turning in a way that once you get up there, so right now we're on the, not the bedside, but where the weapons racks are. This is the, if you get in the ship, gosh, stage right, stage left. When you first get into the ship and you're looking across the way, that's what we're looking at now. So it's got kind of a sink and stuff like that. As we turn here, this right here is where the bed is currently on the Terrapin. So this is where the weapon racks are currently. This is where, so this digital medical assistant is currently where the beds are on the, so where your bed is in the Terrapin, if you're looking in the Terrapin, this is currently where your bunk bed is. So there's probably not a bed here anymore, which is fine. It seems okay. I would expect to bring the ship with me in another ship. Like I would expect to put this should fit, excuse me, goodness gracious. This should fit in the Polaris. Struggling with allergies. There might still be a bathroom in here somewhere, but this is the back of the Terrapin here. And again, bringing it back around to the door here. and then back to the pilot section here. So again, that's just the layout. There's a bed in here. There's enough room for maybe some storage. There'll be the spawning spot. So this will add a nice small capability to being able to do medical gameplay. From a perspective of it being a small enough ship, I do like this over the Apollo because it should be able to fit in hangars of some ships. But that being said, I don't like the price point. So yeah. Moving on here, this appears to be the new Crusader. This I thought was maybe the Terrapin, but this looks like it's the new Crusader. Oh, actually, yeah, that's probably the Terrapin here. Finishing off with it. Yeah, it's got the wings, sorry. So this is the finishing of the Terrapin. Now we're moving on to the Crusader. So I think this is going to be the Crusader starter ship. You can see here the like C1, A1 type design language, VTOLs. It's going to have the doorway too. So this is going to be the new starter ship for the Crusader, which I think is cool. Might be the go-to. Now you're not going to be able to see the gun. I think the gun's on the other side. And it's going to probably be asymmetric. This here, no, it's still going to show a little bit more about it. So here's the gun. Pretty big. I just saw some missiles in there as well. So if I go back a sec here, right here, you'll see some missiles. So a couple missiles also going to be available. Hard to say what the price point will be for this one. With the C1 being, 125, this will be less than that, which is cool. But this is the inside of it as well. Looks very C1-ish. It'll just be scaled down, right? You'll have less room for cargo, things of that nature. There's a room off to the side here. It's hard to say where that kind of gun's at, but I think it'll be asymmetric. I think it'll be more like a mini Mercury Star Runner as far as it looks. So we'll take a quick look at the Starlancer. I want to do the Polaris and the Pioneer in a separate video. This is running pretty long as it is, so we'll take a run through this. Interested to see how this plays out. It mostly just because much like the Zeus, it's just kind of a gold standard thing, but I don't think it's going to offer a whole lot more against like the constellations and stuff like that as far as gameplay. It's going to have more room in the max, but I don't see dropping something like the Constellation Taurus over something like this. Also, I don't like the view, even as bad as the Constellation is, I don't like the viewport on the Freelancer, even worse. So hype's definitely real for it coming, right? But yeah, I actually wouldn't mind seeing on the Andromeda a small Fury type of bay like this instead of what it's got as a dock. Don't know, definitely could use some reworking. Looking all through right here, cool guns, cool turrets. Love the side opening here. Gosh, if only some other ship could use that, possibly a Carrack. I don't know why they're not spending a little time to get that going in the Carrack. Also, here's the new asteroid base, which looks pretty cool. I'm hoping to see this relatively soon. Maybe we can have it as a starting location. That would be interesting as well. God and everybody will probably be doing that if it is offered. Can imagine any new planet or any new starting location is going to be the highest priority for people to take part in. Yeah, so it looks cool looking ship. I don't know, right? It's hard to say if I'd want to take this over something like the Constellation class. I like the idea of MISC. I just don't know if I like it enough to, like I said, drop other ships for it. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to cut it here, and we'll take a look at the Polaris and the Pioneer in a separate video. I think it'll just be better to have their own separate videos, given how long it'll take to kind of walk through those as well. And this one's already dragging on a bit. Thanks for checking out the video, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.